I'm Maria Menounos, and you're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Hey, Supernatural fans! We are here for Supernatural Mondays! It's back. We are here with you. So excited to talk about Season 15, Episode 13, Destiny's Child.
Say my name,
say my name. No one is around you. Say, baby, I love you.
Supernatural.
I was waiting for like a Beyonce or some kind of Destiny's
hoping we
Child.
have a guest star with Beyonce. I was like, the Beehive will be so excited.
But I just realized right now why actually it was Destiny's Child.
It was.
Oh. Ooh, you guys, we've got so much to talk about. I thought we were going to get a Ruth sighting. We did not get that, but we did get Joe and Ruby. So we got the wifeys of Jensen and Jared.
Oh my God, in such a romantic way they met. I'm all a flutter love.
So, y'all, my name is Lyndsey Wegner. We are here to talk to you all about Supernatural. I'm joined by my fabulous co-host,
Sherry. Love you all.
And so Sherry, initial thoughts about this week's episode.
Oh my gosh, loved it. It had heaven and hell in a way that I did not expect. And of course, you can never go wrong with my Winchesters squared.
When we get double Sam and Dean, it's like all the good things in the entire world, like the universe is aligning. There is no apocalypse happening. Like it's just pure happiness for all of us.
I was thinking to myself, if I have to be quarantined and I had to choose someone from Supernatural, who would it be? Lyndsey.
Oh, is it me? I mean, technically we kind of are quarantined together. So also, hey guys, if you're here in the chat, we're here. We can chat with you. So let us know. Say hello to us. I want to give a shout out to Austin. It's his birthday today. Austin Prophet. Happy birthday.
It's your birthday.
It's your birthday. Wash your hands for 20 seconds and sing happy birthday. Just going to always be my tip every week until this is over. So maybe the rest of our lives right now, for all we know. We should all just go wash our hands all day long. Okay, my initial thoughts about this week's episode. I love seeing, like you said, double Sam and Dean, Jack coming back, this conversation about him being soulless. I knew this had to go somewhere and talking about the balance. So I'm just trying to progress and think, where is this going to go? What's the balance of things? So I've got predictions later.
It was a lot going on.
There was a lot going on.
I loved it.
Lots of notes to take, lots to talk about. So let's dive right in. We immediately get new Sam and Dean. And Cherry, what fashion display is Sam showing?
I want to go with slight douchery, posh, and a Fiat, which I was like,
posh. That's the word I was looking for. I was like, I wrote waspy down.
I mean, they were money,
but
money.
Y'all, Sam had a man bun,
which I thought was incredibly sexy.
I mean, I'm not the man bun type, but
I mean, couture. They were like just to the
like
nine.
the whole cravat, scarf thing, and a mock turtleneck, and the fancy shoes. And I don't know. I like to stick with old Dean. I'm gonna flannel shirts for life for old Dean. I think Sam looked better in the posh look than Dean did, but I think they had to keep Dean a specific way because remember when he was Michael, he was full blown suit, tux, like everything. So I think they didn't want to take it too far for him because they wanted to keep him being Michael separate.
They were casual, but yet ready for some hunting if they needed to.
Like to go sit on a yacht or something.
But I thought both of them looked really good. I love the whole, are you a beer or Scotch man? And they're like, no, Scotch private label,
fancy Scotch. Dad taught us, we don't know where he is, but he was such a great guy for us. All these.
A good dad. Our boys were so
confused and so upset, very, very upset.
Very industrious.
So we get another Billy sighting, and she tells us that new Sam and Dean. I'm just gonna call them new and old. Well, new. We know who regular Sam and Dean are. New Sam and Dean were running because God, aka Chuck, is destroying all the worlds. So it seems as though they may have been caught in a rift because they're kind of ghosts. So we have to pull them back because we're going to have to use them later.
They were caught between worlds. It was so funny when they were like banging. I don't think they couldn't see our world, but our world could see them. And I loved how Dean was like, you know what? We ain't got time for this. We need to get to hell. Let's just leave them there. They're fine.
Well,
They're
Billy tells us that Jack has already done part 1, phase 1. The second part is to find the occultum, which is Latin for hidden.
Yes.
And it's been missing for centuries. It's not a weapon, but it's powerful. And Jack says he's ready to go do this. He's ready for phase 2.
Jack's ready to do what he needs to follow his destiny. And I feel like Billy is sort of treating them like chess players on a board, but they need to. And as she reminded them, don't be stupid.
Don't be stupid. Always, don't be stupid. We liked Merle last week because she's like, well, that's a stupid Winchester thing to do. Well, Merle saw her demise.
Billy is not playing.
She's not playing.
People.
She's not playing. And this is what I thought was interesting, you all. So Dean is worried if they kill Chuck, that now we still have Amara around. So because we have Amara around, technically that would throw off the balance of the world. So in order for the world to continue moving forward, we need to kill Amara as well. So Jack needs to kill Amara too.
I don't agree with that.
You don't think that?
I think they'll have a lot going on with trying to kill Chuck. Do you really want to have Amara on up in this, angry and trying to kill her too? And she's at full strength. Chuck's at full strength too. But as we remember, Amara is mighty strong. And the only way Chuck was able to put her in the empty in the first place was when he tricked her. It wasn't like a head-to-head battle where he beat her. He just sort of like.
But they are yin and yang.
Yes.
They are part of each other. So if one's there, it does throw the equilibrium off.
But we still need a god.
And it can't be Rowena. And then Jack comes in popping bubblegum for the first time. It's like, this is how I learned this. It's the first time I learned it. And it's like, Jack.
Such a child.
Can't be Jack. Yes.
Not yet. I know baby boy's growing up. I mean, a young man.
So they know that the occultum is divine. Sergei has told them this, and we find out that Joe has it. So what do we have to do? We have to go pay a little visit to Joe.
Our favorite.
Danielle Ackles, our faith healer, Jensen's wife. I was always, whenever they were in a scene together, and even Ruby in a scene, when she talked about Sam, I look for those little recognition moments of their husband. And both of them did such a good job holding off. I was really happy. I'm like, okay, you didn't break it all. Not that I would expect that they would, but I don't know, you just kind of like hope that there's just going to be like a little, like just an extra, like holding that glance a little longer, or maybe like Joe doing a, you know, those Winchester boys are good looking boys.
So good looking. I thought that they'd be more in the episode than they were.
I did
but
too.
Again, you know, they have so much of the story to get to with the final episodes that they really can't indulge the fandom as much as I would like. But for the moments that they were in there, I have to say Brad Buckner and Eugenie Ross Lemming did such a wonderful job writing this episode, as well as Amin Kadery directing. And she's directed before, and it's nice to have people who really know the fandom and know the history of the show directing, because they're able to capture those looks and direct people so that it's a wink to fans without them breaking the third wall.
Sure. And I do think they utilized both Danielle and what's Jared's wife's name?
Ruby and Anel.
Yep, but what is
in real life Genevieve.
I think they both played to their strengths, and when we did get to see them, they were being powerful, kick-ass ladies, and we really saw the juxtaposition of the two and the good and the bad between both of them.
And it sort of played back into the title of this episode of Destiny's Child, where it's a trifecta of women really sort of leading where we're going for the final chapter. In the chat, Billie Jean says Amara is living life. She's not hurting anyone anymore. I don't think they should kill her. And Art Master Austin Prophet says Sam and Dean need to rule heaven. I kind of would like them in heaven.
I mean, that's the goal, would be to have Sam and Dean ruling, or Cass ruling heaven.
Oh,
Sam and Dean being on Earth, being able to live out their lives however they choose, and Rowena in hell, and everything just kind of just carrying on and having a mutual understanding that this is what's happening. You keep your people in line, you keep your people in line. Sam and Dean are still doing the work to be good people, but everyone kind of has a happy ending, and it gets tied up with a bow, which I don't think is going to happen.
I don't think it's going to happen either.
They can't leave us like that.
But Castro would be better in heaven because he likes humans.
So Joe tells the boys that that Ruby has stashed the occultum in hell. True, false, we don't know. So Jack is going to help them. Jack and Cass are going to help them get to hell. Meanwhile, Jack is talking about not having a soul and how he's kind of getting used to things, and he's eating this junk food and he doesn't really feel anymore, but that he's used to it now. So he's kind of giving us a feel of where he's at without his soul. And so the boys go into hell. They're set up by a messenger, technically from Joe, saying if they kill them, that she'll bring them back to Earth. Which, please, let's be real here. The Winchesters are going to beat off anyone. I was hoping for a Rowena sighting.
I was hoping too.
We did not get it. Meanwhile, while the boys are fighting off these people in hell, Cass is convincing Jack to kill him enough to get to the empty, because he assumes that's where Ruby is. He's going to look for Ruby. And Jack can't let him go too far, though, because if he dies, that's a bad thing. But he also needs to continue to feed the fire for the boys in hell, because if he doesn't do that, then they won't be found either. And I'm like, this is a lot of pressure on a guy who just came back into the swing of things. Correct, Jerry?
It's a lot of responsibility for someone who is still at heart like a 9-year-old kid that would lose their attention. Like he was talking with Castiel, that Jack knows things have changed with him and Dean. And then Castiel reminded him after you killed Mary, because he's still not able to sort of process all that. So I think that he knew it was wrong to kill Castiel in the abstract, but he still isn't able to sort of process emotions and really understand why you shouldn't do this or why people are upset with him. But he can look at it in the abstract. And so this is really a good moment for Jack to sort of remind us Jack still isn't the person that we loved in earlier seasons when he saw his son.
Correct. And he is, like you said, he's still a 9-year-old boy. He's still learning things and developing the same way that Cass has, the same way we've seen him grow, that he got to watch the porn and kiss the girl like the pizza boy did. So he's growing and learning these things too at kind of his own pace. So he does do this. Cass is able to call it to Ruby, but not before he stopped by the empty using Meg's meat suit, who's played by Rachel Miner, who I saw I think it was Ivan who said, great to see Meg in the episode. Rachel Miner, I believe. I think I don't know where she's from, but great to see her back, kind of playing and toying with the idea, but giving him the opportunity to find Ruby, chat with Ruby, and Ruby explains, no. Joe lied to you guys. I know where it is. I'll tell you where it is if you get me out of here.
But as we all know, the empty is super not cool with Castiel. And as she reminded him, she has an agreement with Billy, but not with Cass. And she isn't about that life. And no, she's not letting that go. I really liked seeing Ruby in the empty and reminding us that it's basically supernatural people's version of hell, and that she's being tortured while she's in there for all the bad things she did, but also a reminder that angels really are not that nice and most of them don't really like people in general. And I feel they don't think even if Earth is destroyed, angels are kind of like, we'll be okay.
Well, and she reminds all of us too that being a part of the empty means that she's seeing it's full of sorrow and despair, and it's playing over and over again, all of their regrets. It's just constantly, can you imagine just being bludgeoned with all the things that you wish you had done or that you messed up on, and everything you regret just constantly playing over and over again, kind of like we're all dealing right now with during this quarantine.
It really is. But you have to think, would you rather be in hell where they're torturing you, or would you rather be in empty where you're mentally torturing yourself?
I feel like we're being mentally tortured during this quarantine.
I know, I feel like
starting to break my sanity. I broke today, y'all. It's day 8. I broke. I cried today. Feel free to cry. It's okay. This is a really weird time. This is why we're here for you. This is why AfterBuzz is here for you guys, because we want you to still know that we want to bring you the shows. We want to bring you the content. We're your family just as much as you're our family. So even when we're not on and you guys are tweeting us, we're seeing all that stuff, except when I can't get it open on my phone for 3 weeks. But we're all still here for you and still here and wanting to chat and hear what's going on with your thoughts about Supernatural, with what's going on in your life, because this is a tough time for all of us. So please, thank you guys so much for watching the shows and watching all of our other shows, commenting, liking, subscribing, following on iTunes, SoundCloud, and all the things. So thank you guys so much. We appreciate you. Thank you for being here for us. We love y'all. Thanks.
We love all of you.
So Sam and Dean are back in the bunker after beating off these guys and figuring out that Joe is lying, and ask Jack what's going on and tell him to bring back Cass. Meanwhile, Cass is fighting with Meg, aka the Empty, and she's trying to get him to stay and kill him and torture him before it's too late. Luckily, Jack is able to bring him back, and Ruby has told Cass that the occultum is in the safest place, and he has the location. The only issue is, if Chuck sees them leaving, he's going to know what they're up to. How do we fix this problem? We've got new Sam and Dean. We've got the posh boys ready to take their place. So Sam and Dean kind of tell them, hang out in our clothes, get rid of the man bun. I saw one of you guys write when they said, I'm not getting rid of the man bun. Nope, not the man bun. Wear the flannels, drink beer, which New Dean is starting to kind of like. New Dean is loving the porn on the computer, although Sam brings up the fact that this would totally get us written out of our inheritance from Dad. Meanwhile, when they're hunting, they're on a private plane to go somewhere. What did they say? Hunter Corps? Hunter Corps pays them well.
Pays them very well with 2 pilots on standby.
It's like there's little hints of jealousy for both of them. For both guys. Like the guy, like real Sam and Dean are going, you've got a private jet?
You got an emotionally available dad?
Yeah.
What the heck?
You're constantly drinking great labeled scotch.
You have servants?
We're really
live in a mansion?
We're really missing out here.
They are driving a Fiat, so our Dean is like not about that.
So they decide to watch over the bunker, keep Chuck thinking that the boys are really there, even though Sam still has his man bun. Well, Sam, Dean, Jack, and Cass go to find the occultant. They get to a church, hellhounds everywhere. Sam can only hold them off for so long, and they have to figure out where this occultum is. And Dean figures out that it's going to be below this baseboard in this church. Pulls it out, and Cass reads it in Enochian, and it says, in order to be in the occultum must be in you. What does that mean, Jerry?
Like any child Jack's gonna put in his mouth.
You gotta eat it. It's gotta be in you. Well, who's gonna be the one to do this? Of course it's gonna be Jack. And he starts a flashlight and disappears. And he ends up laying in this grass. And immediately I thought, garden. He's in the Garden of Eden. Totally knew it right away. It's too beautiful. It's bright. There's flowers. It's lush green. There's no patches of dryness. It's
beautiful.
Beautiful. It's heaven. And a child comes up to him and says, he mustn't be human because they're not allowed to enter there. Is he an angel? God loved Adam and Eve until he banished them and hid it away. It will change him if he was meant to find it. She walks away and disappears. And this gives Jack a chance to reflect. And of course, who does he see but the serpent? Which I'm thinking, do not tempt him. Do not tempt him. But instead, asks him, who are you meant to be? And we get this flashback of Jack with Kelly, with Sam and Dean learning how to fish, eating burgers on the side of the road, with Mary, going through all those emotions and feelings. And how did you feel when you saw that, Cherry?
I have to say, first of all, Jack has this connection with serpents. And
Yes.
You know, snakes and things that surprise me. But then when you see the moments that really define Jack, it's a reminder of what a big influence Sam and Dean are, and Castiel is, the whole Winchester family, and how that has changed the path. So if he stayed with Lucifer, he wouldn't be that person. He'd have been a totally different person. Let's be honest, he'd been evil. So,
well, you are who you spend the majority of your time with, and you're raised, and your values. And while I still don't think Lucifer is all bad, because he wasn't all bad all the time. He used to be an angel, but he still would have taken on the more evil parts.
He's more of a selfish person that never does anything nice unless there's something in it for him. And it totally falls back into the nature versus nurture. And some would have said, because Dean originally thought genetically he was predisposed towards being a bad person. And Sam and Castiel knew that he would be nurtured by them, and that would change his path. And it proved to be true.
So this whole episode to me isn't more about destiny. It's more about balance. And Amara being good and bad, Chuck being good and bad, Jack being good and bad. We've got the balance of new Sam and Dean with regular Sam and Dean. And I just saw Billie Jean Girl said, we shouldn't kill Amara. She's not doing anything. She's not hurting anyone.
Yes.
She's not hurting anyone now. We don't know what's going to happen later. And I'm still worried about the balance of things. I'm truly worried about this. And the pendulum swing, it's going to swing back at some point. I would hope that she would want to help the boys, but
yes,
this thought kind of Sam or Dean bringing this up earlier in the episode has really truly made me think about whether or not it's good or bad to have them there.
But she's gotten to know humans, she's gotten to know the earth, and she realizes she likes it. She likes people. She likes New Jersey. No, wait, she was in Reno.
She's in Atlantic, or was she in Atlantic City or Reno or somewhere?
Let her go to like San Francisco or LA or somewhere, and then for sure she'll know what heaven on earth is. And oh wait, no, the Bahamas. Go to the Bahamas, girl.
I mean, that's where didn't Rowena love the Bahamas?
Yes,
with like her
boat
she picks up. Yeah. So he has all these feelings. The conversation with Lucifer, and he starts to cry, and he's crying. And I go, does he have his soul back? Does he have his soul back? He's crying because we were just saying how he's not feeling any of the emotions, but does he have his soul back? Also, Rutherford is literally snoring next to me. Do you hear him snoring right now? Full blown snores. Piggy snores.
Soothing tones.
So the orb flashes back in the church, and the hellhounds, Sam can't hold them back any longer. And Cat didn't know that Jack was going to eat it and disappear. Luckily, this orb flashes. We see the hellhounds, they're like outlined, and then they go away. And Jack wakes up on the ground, and things seem to be okay for now. We get back to the bunker. New Sam and Dean are there, and new Dean, he doesn't want to go. He wants to keep the he wants to keep the shirts. He wants to live there. Even Sam's a little reluctant to leave.
Well, they get a little down and dirty with the poor cousins.
Until Dean scares the crap out of them for doing what?
Better not drive baby.
Who would drive another man's classic car?
But he is that man.
He is him. He is him deep down. That is who he is. They're just like bits and pieces of it. Yeah.
Am I the only one that when I saw the hellhounds, I honestly thought Crowley would appear for a moment? Because Crowley always had an affinity for hellhounds.
I was talking with someone again, and they're saying that we were talking about Crowley, and I said, I don't know, I feel like maybe he's going to come back. And he goes, you told me he wasn't going to come back. And I said, that's because he tweeted at Cherry saying he wasn't coming back. But I feel like that's all a hoax. And he just did Instagram video the other day talking about the other show that he's on, but hashtag SPN family. So I'm waiting for it because that would be Crowley-like to lie about it.
It would be Crowley-like.
It only makes sense.
And we have to have our Crowley because
Yeah.
he didn't die. He switched his soul to a rat because Crowley always has a plan. There's no way we're not going to see him. And he loves the boys too much. He loves Dean too much not to say a final bit.
I want to see one more fruity drink. And him. That's all that I want. There's so many things that I want, but that's something that I want. It's like on my top 15. So Sam's standing at Jack's door. Cass comes out and says he's recovered. Jack is back, but something's different. He's been to the garden, the crossroads of divinity and humanity. And this is where I thought Destiny's Child came in. This is the destiny of it all. Also, all the ladies, our trifecta here. The crossroads of divinity and humanity. Now, Jack can take over because he's the balance. That's what I wrote. Because now he has a soul.
Yes.
He knows what it's like to feel. He's seen both sides of everything, so he can rule fairly and justly.
And I loved it. I was so happy. I mean, I was so sad that he was crying, and they finally realized what he did when he killed Mary, even though it was by accident.
And because he explains he had a mother. Why didn't he get it? Why didn't he get it at the time? He didn't understand how he couldn't see that because he was never allowed to have those feelings. These feelings are brand new feelings for him.
Yes.
Just the same as he's aging and growing and learning, these are new feelings for him. It was his fault. He's crying. He asks for forgiveness. We know his soul is back, and then we fade to black. And so we don't know if they're going to forgive him or not.
So good. Such a great episode. I mean, the cast did such a wonderful job. Such a great throwback to all of us who've been watching for so very long. I enjoyed watching it so much with you.
Well, and we saw Cass have a conversation earlier with Jack talking about like apologizing
Yes.
and Dean and what's going to happen. And Cass kind of explained he will in his own time. He may break a little, you know?
Yeah.
And we may not have seen Dean accept Jack's apology today. We may not see it next week. Because if we do a Monster of the Week episode next week, which it looks like it might be, we may not see it next week. But if we don't, we're definitely going to see it in the next episode. And something's going to happen to make him go, I forgive you, if we don't see it next week.
It has to, because remember when they went to where the Luthinians were? When they got
Leviathans?
Yes. Dean had another moment where he realized
with Cass.
He had to forgive Cass. And I think we're going to have another moment where we get to see him forgive Jack.
I think he even in a way has forgiven Jack.
He has.
Maybe not entirely, but I think I think it's close.
I think he's more accepting of Jack than Sam, because Sam is still like listening at his door, making sure he doesn't do anything again, while Dean seems to be like okay with it.
Mm-hmm.
Like he really doesn't think he's gonna snap and kill everybody. I feel like Sam still hasn't gotten to that point where he trusts him again.
Sure.
And Dean does trust him.
We got the birthday boy, Art Master Austin Prophet, saying he agrees Jack would be a great candidate for ruling heaven.
He would be our favorite queen in hell.
No, yes. Perfect, y'all. That was the episode this week.
Great episode.
Great episode. Lots covered. I feel like we're getting somewhere as we're ramping up for the last six episodes left. There's only 20 this season.
Oh my gosh.
So we've only got 6 more episodes left. So there's a lot of loose ends we still need to tie up and get to, but they're really filling it. And we'll get into our predictions and what's going to happen in next week's episode. Before we get to that, I know that Sherry has some news and gossip for y'all.
Do. We have some great news.
AfterBuzz TV, news and gossip.
Well, our supernatural family is full of love and giving. And you know our favorite cast and his organization called Random Acts are raising money to support COVID ID, people suffering, our medical professionals and everyone. And so if you go to eBay, Random Acts with Creation Entertainment is doing an auction of signed autographs from not only Supernatural, but Once Upon a Time and other shows. It ends Monday, March 30th, so go on in and bid. It's for a good cause. and they have some great autographs.
Yeah, we were looking up a couple of them, and there's some $50 autographs. There's 70 up to 110. So yeah, check it out, y'all. I also saw, I think they're going to be doing a virtual convention. Ruth Connell Rowena has posted a handful of times on her Instagram that there's going to be a few of the people from Supernatural doing basically a virtual convention for everyone in this time where it's crazy. I know that when they did the convention in Las Vegas, there was a whole no touching rule.
Yes.
So everybody was taking pictures like, and just not touching, which is great because
awesome.
with all the people that they're meeting and they need to be healthy to be filming and all that stuff. So really, and obviously Jensen and Jared leading the packs, and people, Adam Fergus and David Hayden Jones trying to keep things light and fun. I think David Hayden Jones came out in a hazmat suit at one point. They were all singing with Loudon Swain. Yeah. So just making the most of the situation. So yeah, check that out. Check out the virtual convention. I know it's up on Ruth Connell's Instagram and whoever else is going to be involved. So special segment, best kill, y'all. Da, 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 da. Right.
Oh my gosh. Well, tonight's best kill would be, I'm going to go with killing my own heart when Jack got his soul back. It literally made my little Grinch heart pump so hard and get bigger and bigger. So that killed me.
I can't top that. I was going to say Cass almost dying, like Jack killing him just enough to get the information for Jack to get a soul.
Yes.
Ha ha!
Because Cassio's always right.
Yes. So that was my best kill, in my opinion, because that actually helped our boy Jack get his soul back to potentially make him king of heaven. So yeah, ruling heaven.
Prince.
All right, so let's get into some predictions.
Oh, we have some gossip.
Oh, we've got gossip. Gossip. All right.
We have some great gossip because we're wondering what you're doing in lockdown. But I know what Misha Collins is doing. Something good. And he's asking people to make signs and post them online to thank all of our many healthcare workers. Use the hashtag Thank You COVID-19 Heroes. If you go to his Instagram account, he has some photos up that he's done a little video of him and his neighbors. And it's just such a nice way to give back. So I'm going to make a virtual one on my Instagram later on today.
Ooh.
And then Jensen is, of course, at home with his family. And he's got one image on Instagram where he's playing on trampoline. And of course, a lot of people who have children are having to homeschool their kids. And so he's doing dance classes for his kids as well as their other educational homeschooling program that they do. And then and then if you go to Jensen's Instagram account, he also is highlighting a little miniature concert that you can stream online. And they're asking people to tip to give to COVID healthcare and to help people in this time.
Awesome. Well, also a little bit more news is we do know that there's going to be an episode next week. They were taking a break, which was already kind of figured out. The way that this season was ending with the 6-week up until, the day before St. Patty's Day last week, and then they were going to have a few episodes and take a break, and then a few episodes and then a break again. I don't know why they break it up like that. It's frustrating for all of us because we just want to see the end of a season. They do have 2 more episodes to film. I know we talked about that with you guys last week. So right now, we don't know when that next episode after next week is going to air. So stay tuned. We will keep you all posted, and hopefully we'll know more next week. And hopefully they can get back to shooting in the next few weeks so that we can continue the episodes moving forward the way that they were supposed to end in May, I believe. But fingers crossed. All right. Our AfterBuzz TV predictions. They did not share a preview after the episode, but I did look it up, and Sam and Dean discover a wood nymph who is determined to protect her family at any and all costs.
Well, I can't blame a wood nymph for doing what wood nymphs need to do.
But who do you think we're going to get back next week? Do you think we're going to get Kate?
Ooh, that'd be cool. Again, I want Crowley. I love me my Crowley. I think he's just such a charmer and fun. But I don't know what he'd have to do with the Woodman.
Yeah, I think Crowley's going to be in one of those final episodes, or when Rowena pops back in so that they can have a moment, because I feel like they still need a moment. Obviously, we know there's still big plans for Rowena coming up ahead. And I think maybe next week we see a little bit more of Chuck finishing out these universes, these alternative universes. And if we don't see next week the next phase for Jack, I believe we'll be seeing it in the following episode, which I'm not sure when that's going to be, but
yeah, I think Billy has another step to her plan. I don't think that was the final step, because she didn't know what would happen if they did when they did found the occultum. I think she has another step for him before he's at his full strength to be able to take on Chuck. Chuck.
Well, you guys, that was your episode. That was this week. That was on Supernatural, season 15, episode 13. Y'all, we got a few episodes left. We don't know what's going to happen. We don't know what Chuck's going to do.
Something bad.
We're going to be going up against the big bad for sure. Amara's definitely going to make an appearance, but we won't know until we see you next week, when we can add even more thoughts and suggestions, and you guys can fill us in on your thoughts and suggestions. Leave a comment below. Let us know what you guys are thinking of these final episodes. And Cherry, where can everyone find you until next week?
You can find me Cherry_LA on Twitter and Instagram. And if you're feeling lonely, feel free to DM me. I'm open on both accounts.
Aww. And this is Lyndsey here. You guys can find me on all things social media at Lyndsey Wegner. That's LYNDSEY WEGNER. Once again, thank you so much for joining us today in the midst of all this chaos. We are here for you. Leave us a friendly hello. Say hello back. And we'll see you guys all next week. Monday.
Supernatural Mondays. Bye.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.